In this video series, I've made a number of videos that explore one piece of technology at a time, which will become a bigger part of this blueprint workflow system that I have been using. So in previous videos, we've looked at WordPress, we've looked at Bootstrap. In this video, we actually need to look at 2 or 3 technologies all at once, because there's some blurry lines between the three. And this is the core technology that makes Bootstrap and WordPress work together with a code editor. So often I've been calling it LiveCanvas, but as you're going to see, there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay, here I am on the Picostrap website. This is an incredibly small logo. This is picostrap.com. You can see it here at the top. This is the best Bootstrap 5 starter theme. So you could download it here. It says it's like 700 kilobytes? That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, and this uses the latest Bootstrap. And if you keep scrolling down, you know, they do the classic sell you on what makes it so special and good. But there's also a child theme down at the bottom, which is kind of cool. And only right now when I was like looking at this, did I see there's also a child theme just for material design, which is the sort of the design aesthetic framework that Google offers. So fascinating theme. Picostrap is a free plugin, and to make it really work well, you're going to want this one. This is a paid plugin called LiveCanvas. The pricing is like criminally low right now, $140 for lifetime, and I have that. I've purchased that at 2 different jobs now. Yeah, and this plugin is the magical interface that allows you to use the page builder thing with the full code access. So we're going to be looking at that shortly. I do also want to call out from that site, we have the docs. Yeah, over here, there's a bunch of stuff. They also had a support thing somewhere. Maybe that's not, maybe it's in the members area. In the past, I once needed support's help. I said, it'd be amazing if, I think it was in Picostrap, it'd be cool if this hook was there right when the body opens. And they're like, okay, sure. And like, that hour, they did it. They just pushed it. There was a new version on the Picostrap site. And like, how cool is that? I don't want you to think it's always like that. The last time I asked a question, I was given the response that I might want to ask ChatGPT first and create a custom function in functions.php. It's probable that I asked a question that was a little outside the scope of the normal thing that they needed to do. Anyway, it's a cool product. It's made by actual human beings, and you're going to get that kind of breadth of experience and support. I've only needed support twice, though, in about 6 years. I will also say, if you're one of the people that finds an environment like Discord to be a normal and pleasant experience, then they have one of those as well. I use chat for work. I'm sure I could figure all of this out. I do find that the communities that I've been a part of, they get really quick into the meme stuff and just like they develop their own culture. And I don't know that that's the case here, but this is not a place that I've spent much time. The last thing I want to mention is this Ninja Bootstrap thing. I've mentioned that in a previous video. Here I'm on a site called ui.bootstrap.ninja, and they have a number of components. These are part of the blueprint. I paid for the lifetime license on this. Have not played with it deeply. And then additionally, just the regular bootstrap.ninja site just talks about extending the normal Bootstrap experience. We did look at this really quickly before. It's a little different than theming because it's also object-oriented. So we're getting into classes like these background colors having tints and tones. We're going to see that in a second as well. So in summary, we have Picostrap, LiveCanvas, and Bootstrap Ninja. So hats off to these people. They've helped me do some awesome work. Let's dive in a little bit more here. Here's the front end of a site I quickly built using Blueprint. This is just on my local WP, so you can see familydental.local, and got a typical homepage. I built this from one of their templates. So I'm going to go to the back end now. Actually, before I come here, I'm taking it back in step. This is right when I log in. If you've never logged into WordPress before, this will become quickly familiar. This is the backend dashboard. Right when I log into whatever the URL is /WP admin. So you can see I haven't done too much. It's just pages, posts, media. I have added gravity forms. These are some of my defaults within Bloop. If you're interested in making one of these, what I recommend doing is adding all the plugins that you're at least 50% likely to use, or take some time to set up and you could save that time. So Envira Gallery isn't one that I've used very much, but it is really easy to delete something rather than add it and then jumping through the hoops. That one in particular, adding the API key and configuring some settings, I find that one takes a lot of time. So yeah, anyway, easier to delete stuff, always easier to tear something down than to build it. So that's my approach with Bloop. So you can see most of the stuff is off. I've just turned on Yoast, LiveCanvas, and Gravity Forms. So yeah, and so I want to show you the back end of LiveCanvas. So first, you'll recognize this video thumbnail was on the docs site. It's just like an introduction thing. And then we have all sorts of interesting things down here. You get a header and a footer built into your theme, typically in header.php and footer.php. But here I can override that with checkboxes, and then I get an editor to edit the footer from this backend, which is awesome. In particular, think about for multi-site. You don't need child themes for every single site anymore. Fascinating. Requires Picostrap. I've never used LiveCanvas without Picostrap, and I've never used Picostrap without LiveCanvas. So I'll get that out of the way. In fact, the lines are blurry where one begins and the other ends, as you may see. This is really fascinating. Here we can handle WordPress templates. I'm going to check on that and hit save. And now I have this area over here called dynamic templates, and this is powerful. So I'll create a new one here, and I could call it 404, and this will be the 404 page not found thing. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to the front end here and just go to a page that I know does not exist. I got this 404 page not found, go home. I don't understand why this is the default. It's 404 surrounded by balloons, and it has a happy face, and there's like a woman wearing Mickey Mouse ears. I've never wanted that. That's not an official complaint, but it is odd. So I just created this new template, and now I'm going to publish it. And when I come back here and refresh, you'll see a radically different thing is here. Page page you're looking for can't be found. Page we're looking for couldn't be found. This is an odd casing. I think I would go full sentence case. Anyway, that doesn't matter, because now I just go right in here and I can start changing all that. But even better, I can click edit with LiveCanvas. And now let's start over. I'm just going to delete this whole section and just use the page builder. I bet you picture's in the way. Oh, it's not. Okay. I'm going to click add a section. And then because I just bought this Ninja Bootstrap thing, let's click that. Oh, let's do it. I got to add the authentication key. Okay, I just entered that that license key in my password manager. You got to get one of those. And now over here, they have a whole bunch of things. Frequently asked questions. I clicked that and it's loading some images from the internet somewhere. I'm gonna scroll up. Let's get a 404. So we got a cool page not found. And I can just click that to preview it. And I can see it's going full width. If this one does not go full width, it's sort of, here we are in the middle. Well, that's interesting. Is it coming with a header? Maybe it's just doing it for this preview. Got some Mad Max thing going on here. This one looks a lot like what we just had. Yeah, very interesting. If I click on this gear thing, I do go back, and I can go back to LiveCanvas gallery. They do not have 404s here. So it is interesting that when I have clicked into a dynamic template, it did have some default, and that is separate from these. Yeah, no complaints. So let's just grab one of those real quick, and I'm going to click on that. And let's take the not full width page one, and I'm going to hit save. And that's all there is to it. Up here, this is the editor experience for a dynamic template, but it's the same for a header or a page or a post. I can click these little previews, and I haven't dug into it, but I bet it's an iframe, and it's just getting like resized, and they're putting like a device wrapper little thing on it. So you get a really quick look at all the various screen sizes. Instead of playing your browser like an accordion, or my little trick, which is to use the web inspector. And, you know, that works too. You can still get in there and do that. But I like the attention to detail to build that in. We also have something in here called Tree View, which is pretty new, which I haven't really used yet. I haven't had need. And in here in options, we can quickly look at the HTML down here, and you can see some pretty cool stuff. There's the SVGs for the gradients, and we have the text right in here. We've got the navs in here. That is interesting. I thought that might be just previewing something. Huh. Got to wrap my head around that. I don't think I would actually want that, so we're just gonna do it live. I'm just gonna delete that code like so. And well, now we need a little more padding at the top, so I'm just gonna add some margin top 5. There we go. Yeah, interesting that there is a footer as a part of this. You know, this is a very new feature. I wonder if we've just found a bug. Easy come, easy go on that stuff. So is everything balanced? I think I usually get an error if I'm missing something. Yeah, see that? Well, you maybe don't see it because I'm doing the old picture in picture. Oh, you did. There's a little red X, so I think everything's balancing. Anyway, I'm just doing this quick because it doesn't really matter. It's just a demo site. Yeah, so tree view, lots of goodies in here. And yeah, I'm gonna hit exit now. And all I did was like come in here, make this post. You can use LiveCanvas or just do code directly. You could do your single post template in here. You could do tags archive, search results page. Very powerful. And custom post loop. You can use that for some of your custom post types, I believe. Maybe they show up here. Anyway, I have played with that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We have the option here to do animate on scroll. Check this out. So if I add a checkbox, it'll include this library. See all these things are just like sort of scrolling in, fading in from the left, fading from the right. All you have to do is add this code data-aos equals fade dash down dash left. And you're good to go. And then you get those animations on your page. And it's a very lightweight animation product, like JavaScript library. It's perfect. I've used it on production sites. There's more stuff in here. I'm not going to go through all of it. This is what you would check to have LiveCanvas able to be on your posts. I will now go to blocks and sections. These are, you get the ability to add content in the site builder that you've predefined here. So I made one here called standard title. What I did was, I'm going to go back to the family dental site and click, was it any one of these? So one of these pages, yeah, contact. This is a page that I built without LiveCanvas. I just used the normal Gutenberg page builder experience. And the template had this area. I don't know if you can see with the contrast, but the title of contact is surrounded by a light gray box. And I thought, I want that on every page. If you go into LiveCanvas, that's not one of the options. So I just right-clicked on this, inspect. I find that sort of wrapper area, which in this case is a div. It starts with a class of py5. And I right-clicked on that, edit as I did click on that. Edit as HTML, select all, copy. And then I came back here, pasted that in. Then I took the step of just adding editable equals rich and put in the title. Now, if I go to a page and spring promotion, let's edit that with LiveCanvas. I'm going to start from scratch, click add a section, and then from all these, I'm going to go to saved sections, uncategorized, standard title, and there it is. Now, the editable equals rich means that I can go type a word in here. And because it's rich editing, I've got all these tools up here. I can make it look like an H2. I can make it bold. I can add some classes that'll affect its color, things of that nature. You can create your own sections, which tend to be like full width things. And you might have one that's like a series of columns. They can be empty, ready for any kind of content that you put into it. And that's what blocks are. So block is like, more of like a content pattern. So you might have, you're going to have some call outs, like you have the hero banner and then you got like things to do with calls to action. Might be an image, a title, and a button. And so you would just like define those. And then just like editable equals rich, there are little snippets you can use to give it the clue that this is an image that we're going to change. This is a button that's going to have a link. And when you select that link, it's going to go somewhere else. It's perfect. Template partials is where your header and footer goes. And then license is just where I went to license it. So that is the options for LiveCanvas. These are mostly a set it and forget it kind of thing, in the sense that like often if I'm the guy setting up a website, I might create the blocks and the sections, but the person who is doing the day-to-day like page building and content entry stuff, they don't tend to have to go in here. They can just use the sections and blocks. Now I'm going to show you Picostrap. So I'm going to go to themes. We'll just start here. You can see I have Picostrap 5 installed. I also have made my own child theme. I'm calling it Bloop. And in there, I've just got like a handful of things that I've done. I believe Patterns comes with Bootstrap now and is like a Gutenberg starting point thing. I haven't played with that yet. We're going to Picostrap options. Yeah, basically in here, there's some instructions like if you make some edits to your Sass from the front end of the site, you're going to want to compile that, and that is done here. Sass compile, recompile once or continuously. Pretty cool. And yeah, theme documentation. It's the Picostrap docs. I'll be honest, I've never seen this before. I've maybe seen the videos on YouTube though. And then, yeah, finally we'll go to customize. And this has gone to that thing that I clicked initially in appearance, but you can also get to it from the front end bar here. I like having the active tab last. Okay. There's a lot in here and every theme is a little bit different. The new WordPress 2024, those themes tend to be a little different where their options go. I think I demonstrated that in the WordPress video. But here we have some stuff that's common to most themes like site identity, additional CSS. Then we have a whole bunch that are just in Picostrap. It's possible some of this comes from LiveCanvas. I'm not really sure, but here we can like reset to the default Bootstrap variables, or we can upload, like I'm gonna predefine a number of starting points and have those as uploadable JSON. So that's where you can do that. Now, this is a really awesome way to be able to edit your Bootstrap colors. Now, back in the day, if you were making a theme from scratch, you would tend to do this in the Sass. You would have $primary as the variable name for your primary color. And then when you compile your Sass, it would put that color everywhere. But then also for your button hovers and stuff, it would do like the math to darken or lighten by, whatever percentage. Now there's a GUI for this through Picostrap. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. I'm going to just change this color to something else. I'm going to pick this dark purple, but first, a note on accessibility. For better or worse, the default way that Bootstrap is set up is that it assumes your primary color is going to be dark. And by dark, I mean the contrast is going to be such that white text will be the good contrast. So I'm going to type WebAIM here. WebMD. Contrast checker from WebAIM. This tool helps us to pick colors that are going to have an accessible color contrast. If we had this blue with white text on it, gives you some examples of what that's going to look like. That has a contrast ratio of 8.5 to 1. We need to have at least 4.5 to 1. I think it's weird to talk about colors in ratios like that, but if you had white text on a white background, that would be 1 to 1, and that would be a fail. Okay, so we can play with this. We can change the lightness and like, oh, that's a fail, 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 fail. And you can say it's starting to pass. Like for large text, this is a pass under WCAG AA. And that is the Web Consortium Accessibility Group, I believe it is. They have like a set of standards. And where I live in Ontario, Canada, there's an act that was passed in the legislation of my province that says that it's called the AODA, or the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. They will enforce websites and apps using WCAG Level 2A. It's all a mouthful, all of it. AAA is like it's like the most accessible possible, but it's like really difficult to get that. Let's keep going. So we get to 4.5 to 1, and now even normal text size, which is typically like 16 pixels on a browser, that begins to pass. But you can see normal size for AAA is still a fail. I think we got to get into the 6 region. Maybe it's beyond 7. So, hey, we want our websites to be accessible. Bootstrap is going to assume that you have a dark enough color that white is going to be the accessible text on top of it. I am sure in this open source software where you can change all the variables that you could get away with having a lighter color. But I don't think that's a fight you want to pick. If you go to like search results page and you get the pagination bar at the bottom, that's not a thing you're dealing with every day. But that is going to have the active page shown with the primary color as the background and white text on top. So if you're dealing with a brand that does not have a light color as primary, my advice to you is to just avoid the fight against Bootstrap. Pick a different color here. Like just pick a neutral gray, one that's going to pass the accessibility test, and then set your brand color as secondary. And then all through the site, just pick the right colors for things. That's up to you. That's my little word on accessibility. It's not the most intuitive thing to just know that Bootstrap is set up that way, and it'll be in like 1,000 patterns. And yeah, anyway, I want you to avoid that fight. I'm moving my picture in picture just so we can look at all these options. Check this out. Down here, we have color shades, enable text shades, enable background shades. And this is going to generate background primary 100 to 900. That might sound familiar. It's this thing here from Ninja Bootstrap. So at some level, probably in Picostrap, but maybe in LiveCanvas, I don't know. This thing is being added into the site. Now, that is going to add kilobytes. If you're really trying to optimize your site maximally, you might enable that. Did you notice it compiled? There's going to be a message up here at the top. It compiles the CSS. That's done. It's now 45 kilobytes. If I click it again, it's going to recompile. What's it going to say? 46 kilobytes. So it's going to add 1 kilobyte. I'm okay with that if I use it. So yeah, play with that. Your mileage may vary. And now let me show you another really nice detail. They have an AI palette generator. That wasn't the nice detail. It's this thing here, style guide. A little magical scroll happened. And yeah, we're on this page that has like a little bit of everything. It's a style guide. So here's your color scheme. Here's some headings on a light background. Oh, this is a white background, dark, and BG light. Then we're seeing all these colors, the tints, the tones, and yeah, a little bit of everything. Then some typography, base fonts. Ooh. Yeah, I love how they've done this. I really like the direction this is going. And look at this striking duotone image with its navy blue and its purple. And could it be? Could it be? You're wondering, and it is. It's using this the Bootstrap colors here to do this thing. Man, I want to use that on a page, and you could just see how they've done it in here by clicking in here. Where are they doing the colors? BG primary. Now the opacity is 1. So is it the image is like a multiplied thing? Mixed blend mode overlay. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I could delete that and just like go down through all these and just see all the ways that you could have an image with a clearish background blend through. Isn't that fun? Isn't making websites fun? Anyway, I'm way off script here. Okay, so I'm gonna hit back from colors. Here I can go to typography, and there's a font picker, and it's pulling in fonts from probably Google. Is it all Google fonts? Okay, we have local. Well, that's interesting. Where does it get? Does it know what's on my system? We have Google fonts, and maybe it'll just be all Google fonts. All languages. That's kind of cool. This is obviously a thing I haven't played with a ton, but you can pick some fonts, and it's going to compile. It's going to include those fonts for you. Pretty easy and intuitive. And they have RFS, which is responsive font sizing. That means as you scale your screen, it's going to actually scale the fonts down into a so it'll feel right. And that'll help you avoid word wrapping. You know, if you have very long words, they'll start to size appropriately. Yeah, and this has all been done and tested. You know that a lot of thought has gone into this because it's using Bootstrap. Yeah, there are arguably too many options in here. I shouldn't say too many. It's going to be more than you're going to want, which is always where you want it to be. Yeah, so what else we have? Global options. Do you want rounded or not? I just love the way that they're extending Bootstrap in this way. Forms. Forms, I don't know if this is as useful because I'm using Gravity Forms. I think this assumes that you're going to use the Bootstrap form markup. And all those classes are quite specific. And I haven't seen a way to use that with Gravity Forms yet. That'd be pretty cool if that was ever made. Gravity Forms does come with default themes, not Bootstrap that I've seen. And buttons with padding here. Okay. And beyond that, oh, okay. Okay, we want to get out of the, how do I turn off this style guide? Oh, that was odd. Okay. Now, I want to show you something else that's built into Picostrap. Top main navigation bar is this bar here. We've got the name, family dental. We've got this menu of 4 items. And here I can control when the text of this navigation will turn into like that menu button, and it says on medium-sized viewports and up. So that's, well, do you see it happen here? Here we go. So now we have a button and it'll expand. And do you want it fixed on the top? Do you want it static? I always like it to scroll. I hate the claustrophobic feeling on short screens, you know? And yeah, some color scheme stuff. Now this assumes that you're going to be using the header that comes with the theme. If we went into the LiveCanvas options here and we asked it to handle the header, you wouldn't be able to do this back here. So that's a gotcha I wanted to know about. You would also lose this optional top bar. That's adding this green bar here where I have like a call now phone button and a Google map. There's just a field here for HTML. And yeah, you could just edit that. So this checkbox enables or disables that. Wow. Oh, I didn't hit publish on the green. Oh, that's funny that triggered it. Anyway, you can pick the color here from like primary or secondary based on whatever your theme is. Yeah, and again, that is expecting that you're using the themes header. Here we have the menus, and I'm going to take just a slight detour to show you what menus are if you've not seen this yet. But it's a place to drag and drop your pages that you have into a sort of logical menu thing here. I demonstrate this more in the WordPress video. Yeah, so these 3 things together, main navigation bar, which is like the header, the menu, the optional top bar, those 3 things are together. Here you can see the footer is disabled, and that's because I'm doing it through LiveCanvas, that settings thing that I showed you. And then I believe the rest of this is just sort of normal. Yeah. The last thing that I want to do on this tour about Picostrap and LiveCanvas is make another differentiation on the way pages can be made. Here I am on my list of pages, and you can see that my contact page, it does not have an M dash followed by bold LiveCanvas text. And that's because I built that with the normal page editor. On the other hand, we have the homepage, which does have LiveCanvas. So what I'm going to do, I am going to right click, open in a new tab, the word edit, which is going to take us to that normal classic WordPress Gutenberg sort of, you know, that white page. And I'm also going to click edit with LiveCanvas here. This is going to spin and load it up. Let's go look at the normal WordPress one first. Here we are on the page edit view. I misspoke earlier when I said it was still the Gutenberg-y kind of place. I actually recognize now this is the more classic widgets on the side. It doesn't have that page block differentiation. Yeah, this is WordPress page editing classic. And instead of having WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get area, instead of having the Gutenberg block area or even the classic one, we have this button, edit with LiveCanvas. And you'll also see that button, not on a page made normal, but if you go back to the home, it does show up there on the front end as well in your admin bar if you have that. You will still need to come to this page to do things like your Yoast editing or featured image, or, you know, the publish date and looking at revisions and stuff like this. I will say, I don't believe LiveCanvas revisions are in here. I could be wrong. I tend to keep versions on my computer. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And in screen options, they hide a bunch of stuff that you can edit as well. But you still will need to come here sometimes. Editing the URL is another one. Yeah, that's right here, the permalink. I think if it wasn't the homepage, that's where you manage that. Maybe it's over here. Anyway, I also do want to point out there are page templates with, even though you have this LiveCanvas full page editor, there are options to not have a header or footer, which you might use on some campaign landing pages. Not sure about sidebar left and right. I haven't played with a lot of this stuff just because the LiveCanvas editor has given me everything that I've wanted. But if you had like a site with classic widgets on the sidebar, this might be the way that you would go, or maybe something with short codes. But at any rate, yeah, there are some page templates, and you might play with that even before I do. Now let's go back to our page editor with LiveCanvas that we opened in another tab. When I'm on here, just like that 404 editor, you could see there's a bunch of tools here. I still have the add section button, but now I can see a header, and I cannot click. Maybe I can. Yeah, I don't think I'm clicking anything on it. I am seeing the down at the bottom of my screen. It is showing that it's a link. There's probably some JavaScript preventing that from happening. Scroll to the bottom, I do see my footer as well. But then I have all these sections, and I can just click into these, and I can just make text edits. And as I'm hovering around, you can see like I'm hovering this this large text here, and this pink thing pops up that says block. And then I can also see an orange thing that says column. I can see a green thing over here that says row. And then I can also see this thing called container. You might remember that's the thing that's going to constrain your content to the middle of the screen. And I can also see a thing over here that says section. These are probably handy. You can go into here, you can click properties, you can edit a whole bunch of stuff. What else is there? HTML editor. I can look at just the HTML for this one component. That's great. You can replace the block, you can save it to library, copy, paste, move up, move down. I love HTML code, and I'm okay if you don't, but I prefer to just come in here and see the whole thing, see it all in context. And to be honest, I like to cut and paste it into my code editor on my computer, where I have a whole bunch of handy shortcuts and tools that help me to manage this stuff. But yeah, I just love the direction that they're going. I think the ability to edit these things at multiple levels probably is pretty universal to other editors like Elementor or what have you. But yeah, as you scroll through this this example template, there's lots of these things that you can just come in and edit. If I click on this icon, I can see this type SVG icon. I can scroll down and they have the Bootstrap icon library in here. I'm going to switch that to a car. I can click this truck, and I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to switch it to this bee. Let's check out the image chooser now. So I click on this image. I uploaded this image. It's a stock photo, but I can actually come here to Unsplash, and I can type doctor, hit enter, and I've clicked on an image, and before you know it, it's there. I'm going to add a alt tag to that. I'm going to scroll down, not an alt tag, an alt attribute. And I like this one, photo. I'm going to, yeah, we'll just use it like that. And I'm going to hit Command S to save. Now I'm going to go and look at the code that we just did there. So I just hit Command F, pasted in that, the alt attribute. Now look at this image tag. Why don't you write them like this? This is an insane looking image tag. So let's break it down. So in it, we do see some things that we expect: image fluid, rounded. So it's got that Bootstrap class to round the corners. It's got the classic WordPress image ID. Let's skip over this madness. Then we will look at normal things that we expect: width, height, the alt, and then that LC helper equals image. That's the thing that when I click it, it tells me that that we are in image choosing land. But then the source, what a hairy, wild thing that is. What is happening here is that Unsplash has an API to call the image at multiple sizes. And that's what's happening here. It is cropping and resizing and just calling the size of image that is perfect for this website to make it more performant for people just on mobile who don't need the full HD experience. And that's a pretty awesome detail to just add into here. So when you choose an image, you don't have to feel like, oh, I got to go open that in Photoshop and resize it a bunch of times. Instead, it's just ready to go out of the box. And I just think that's a little treat just for you. So that's just a quick tour. This is non-exhaustive. The last one, if I click on that map, I can choose the area. Let's make it Toronto. Hit enter. There you go. So LiveCanvas. There's lots for us to discover here, even for me, a person who's used it many times. I just love the little details they're adding. Oh, I'm just digging through this tree view thing for the first time in my life. So there's your really quick look at Bloop, which is my starting point blueprint. But specifically, we just looked at Picostrap, LiveCanvas, and a little bit with Ninja Bootstrap, just to see how that all integrates together to make this amazing way of integrating just Bootstrap and WordPress. These are, to many developers, just boring tools, and boring is what I like. I want something that's tried and tested, that I can be quick with, low drama, just getting stuff done. I hope that you have found these overview videos helpful and informative and maybe inspire you to make your own blueprint. The next video that I'm going to build will be a different pace. I'm going to use LiveCanvas to build a page from scratch. You'll see some code editing, you'll see some LiveCanvas editing, and I'm gonna just move at a slightly different pace on that one. But I would love to hear if you have other tips, tricks, things that you do, or if you have feedback on how I can make version 2 of this video better. And thanks just for being willing to take part and do your share in helping to finish the internet. We'll get there one day.